lucky fisherman here. I also bow hunt, so there's a craze right now that's, I don't want to call it a new fad. I've been doing this for over 10 years, but front wetting your arrows and using really stout, aftermarket, and expensive insert systems to strengthen the tip of your arrow. Before we did this, we used light carbons that were very fragile, if you will. So now all these companies have jumped on the market, which is great, and using these really strong, really precise, machined, aftermarket, inexpensive components. So I want to tell you what I've been doing for years and years, and it's not that expensive, and it works for me out of my longbows and recurves. I don't shoot compounds, but for my longbows and recurves it works. So that's it right there. These are Ace brass broadhead adapters. They're 125 grains. They make 125 grains. I got these from the Footed Shaft, I believe. You can get them. Toughhead used to make some that were just a little bit different. Used to be able to get them from Three Rivers. I've got them as low as $5 for 6. These are $8.50 for 6. They fit right inside of. These are vintage. These are vintage Black Eagle vintage shafts. They fit inside those pretty well. Here's a gold tip ultralight entrada. Fits inside that real good. So there you go. So basically what I do is, and to strengthen that up more, because it is a short post, you'll see, there's my finger, but you'll see relative to a broadhead or a fill point, that's about how much is sticking inside the shaft. Not much. That's a 2-inch footing. So that's 125 grains, and what I'll do, I'll cut 2-inch footing. Basically that's a 22/16. That weighs, all those weigh exactly 25 grains. So I glue that. Once I glue the insert in the shaft with epoxy, I use 24-hour epoxy. Then I will super glue the footing on the shaft. That adds 25 grains. So there you've got 150 grains up front. That also stiffens the dynamic spine of that arrow. So this is a 400 spine arrow, but it's almost like cutting it 2 inches shorter. So you get a little bit stiffer arrow out of that, which also helps your FOC. And then you glue on your broadhead or your fill point. So this is a 225 grain tough head fill point with 125 grain insert and 25 grain footing. This has no fletchings on it. This is a 29 3/4 inch shaft roughly. You see bare shaft with no fletchings with the knock-in, 677 grains. That bare shaft's tuned. I'm going to bare shaft tune that one. And then the one with the 190 grain, this has a 190 grain fill tip, 25 grain footer, 125 grain insert. Without fletching, 643 grains. I put fletching on that, it's going to be right at 650. So here's a fletched vintage shaft. I cut the big feathers off and put the little razors on. This has a modified grizzly head that I think is 183, 185 grains. Same insert, same footing. See what it weighs. These are my hunting shafts right now in my quiver. 648 grains, so pretty close to 650. But yeah, the FOC on these, I want to say is 24–25% FOC. That allows me to shoot the little fletching. So as you can tell, one shaft from 122/16 or one aluminum shaft from Lancaster is like $5. This is $8.50 from the Footed Shaft, and then whatever it costs for a aluminum tube cutter to cut those down to 2 inches, and then also chuck them up in a drill and kind of bevel the edges there. So again, you don't have to spend $25 for a half dozen arrows just for inserts. You can if you want, and I may do that at some point, but right now these work spectacular. Thank you.